So we're going to be watching this awesome guy that you need to go subscribe to. His name is Sheepramp, and go subscribe to him right now. So let's go.
In this video, I'll be going over the entire Chapter 4 ARG from start to finish, compiling all my ARG videos into one marathon you can watch to see every puzzle, real-life adventure, and every Chapter 4 teaser revealed all in one place while we wait for the game to finally release. Enjoy, guys.
Let's watch.
So first, as a refresher, over the past week or so, a bunch of partners started getting letters from a company called Warrenbot Construction, the company responsible for building parts of Playtime Co., which when putting under UV lights revealed a number of different messages for different people, either saying central, domain, access, or net in invisible ink. And while at first the purpose of these letters was basically unknown, if you actually combine all of the words in total, you may notice it creates a working URL, centraldomainaccess.net, which when entering on a computer brings us to none other than a brand new secret website of a blank computer screen, starting what seems to be the next Chapter 4 ARG. Now, looking at what we have on this page, there is of course a blank computer screen, which we touch upon in a minute, what looks like a small tape player on the bottom right, and some pens and sticky notes on the left. And also, while browsing on the site, there is a very ominous ambience that plays in the background.
Alright, so let me... There we go, do it.
But looking back at the screen, you will notice there is a small area where we can type commands to the computer. However, anything we say just gives us the same exact response, access denied. So now you're probably wondering, what do we do with this and how do we get past this error message? Well, you might remember last month we actually began to get messages from a cryptic Discord account named Playtime Co., which would tell us seemingly random things like the date in 2002, answer basic questions, and even send this image here of a bunch of computer commands seeming like they were trying to help us access this website. In fact, in one of the messages, the user says, more instructions to follow. They will be invisible to your eyes, referencing the hidden ink letters from before that got us the website in the first place. When you receive them, we need you to run icepick.bat on c/domain/network/globals.authenticator. And so naturally, when going to the computer and trying to run whatever icepick.bat is by typing start icepick.bat, believe it or not, we successfully connect and are asked to give a target to scrape or find files. And when listing the file address from before as a target, it loads up a bit before redirecting us to the actual website and terminal, taking us to what appears to be another blank command screen where again we could type random commands into the computer. The only issue is at first it seems like anything you typed in this command prompt would never work. It would always error out or not give you the correct response, and it didn't really tell us much. We can only do really small things, like if we type date, for instance, it gives us whatever the current time is, but in 2002, seemingly confirming this ARG is taking place in the year 2002. However, to get to the next step of the ARG, we just simply have to ask the computer for help, which it will promptly reply saying, if you are experiencing technical difficulties, server issues, or need to reset your permissions, please contact support.
Wait, guys, so oh no. ED search. Wait, did I spell? Okay, so before Wednesday, every October 16th, and got trending. Like what year?
According to IGN,
1995.
during the finale of Chapter 3, Poppy gives us actual answers. Playing a tape, she explains that the Hour of Joy was a factory-wide massacre orchestrated by our good friend.
Okay, let's go.
.net. And of course, when going and emailing the support contact saying whatever you want, at first it replied to everybody with the same automated message saying, we've processed your request for help and our IT department will reach out to you as soon as they are able. As always, we appreciate your continued work on behalf of Playtime Co. and our much beloved product. And for a while, that's
I
all we
worked there
had.
in
No
1995,
here, no updates,
and I died.
Nothing. That is until randomly out of nowhere, the Playtime email started responding to people with a very disturbing message. User permissions have been reset. We are currently experiencing blank. The account is not blank. What are blank? And after people began to receive this mysterious email, going back to the terminal page of the website, things had slightly changed. As suddenly the computer seemed to unlock and would now let us give it commands using the Playtime Co command sheet and just general computer knowledge to dig through the files of this computer, where we found a ton of new hidden teasers. Now this is where things get extremely complicated. So to simplify, just like how you can use a file explorer to find files on your computer and look through folders, you can do the exact same on this website by using the command ls to list the current folders of a computer, and cd, which stands for change directory, to enter that directory or folder. So for instance, when first opening the terminal and typing ls, it lists the C drive of the computer, which we can enter by typing cdc:, taking us into the drive the same way how you'd click a folder on a computer. Then when listing the files in the C drive, there is one directory called domain that we can enter by typing cd domain, taking us to the next folder. And when again listing the folders in the domain directory, we get 4 more paths that all lead to different things. And to keep a long story short, because this video could be hours if I tried to explain every single path, after spending some time digging through every directory,
this video is an hour.
To dead ends and don't go deeper. Like when going from C to domain to desktop, it says there are no files inside, suggesting more stuff could get added to it later. And sometimes you will find secrets, like when taking the path C to domain,
that's interesting.
Inside, we get the text reading start pcss.exe, which when repeating on the terminal takes us to a CCTV website with 3 live cameras. All of which for now are unfortunately blocked or glitched out, but chances are they will open up as the
You tell me what to do, I tell you what to do.
With that secret, while digging, we were also able to discover 7 brand new teaser images, all of which are seemingly teasers for Chapter 4 and hide a ton of secrets about the upcoming game and its lore, so let's break down. The first image we see here is from what looks like a flyer from Playtime Co. reading, "Ring ring, calling all whiz kids, smarty pants, quick-witted thinkers, and brainiacs. It's Elliot Ludwig on the phone. Playtime Co., the beloved and world-renowned maker of toys, is proud to introduce the Young Geniuses program shown here. Never one to stand idle as the future passes him by, our generation-defining inventor and architect wishes to embrace the science of the future alongside, well, you. Join Elliot Ludwig as the best and brightest young minds seek to tackle the universe's most unanswerable questions. Experiment, learn, and above all, have fun. If you believe you are up to snuff, simply fill out the application on the back of the flyer before it kind of cuts off. A series of tests will follow. Vetting period will consist of 6 to 9 weeks of careful blank. Please list a mailing address for all future communication.
Well, I died in 1995 in the hour of joy, so what's the point?
Young Geniuses program, which seems to be a way for Playtime Co. to spot out gifted children and work with them in some way, which we will discuss a little bit later. For now, the second teaser given to us here shows a list of some employees' names saying Dr. Charlie Moff, who prioritizes in anesthesiology, Dr. Bruno White with an impressive list of published papers, who is also known as the scientist in the Chapter 3 VHS tapes responsible for taking children from play care for experimentation.
I remember him when we died.
Dr. White here has selected our very own Samuel Lee.
Next, there's a crossed out unreadable name described as unavailable. Dr. Camille Russell with no description. Benjamin Rutherford, who they say dropped out of med school. A problem child with unresolved parental issues. Tired of paying for fancy blank school with daddy's money? Maybe I'm nosy, but only within reason. Which really makes me wonder who Benjamin is and why the writers seem to hate them so much. Next, we see Dr. Evelyn something and Dr. Carmine McCabe, who have no descriptions. Then Dr. Harley Sawyer, who is circled and reads many years of practical experience, ABNS certified.
You guys are so gullible. You have to believe
those to high-quality neurological surgeons names, but I'm not sure. There's Dr. Anthony Carrizals and Dr. Sanji Blank. But as we said, Harley Sawyer is the one circled, with the writer noting, with great effort and resources expended, namely travel time and the cost of a caffeine addiction, I've gathered a complete list as requested. With the little information available from the unset, I think that says, picking up the trail of these individuals was difficult. Regardless, you keep me on retainer for a reason. Here's your list. Yours, Lockhart.
Comment down below
a name you might
who do you think I
recognize
am.
as Jared Lockhart, who was the detective responsible in the Chapter 3 ARG for looking into how Theodore, the child who ended up being turned into Catnap, tried to escape play care with the prototype. And this time, they seem to be delegated with making a list of some kind of employees, but what could this list be for? Well, in my opinion, it seems like it has something to do with possibly finding some people who are qualified to work on the experiment. Since most of the people listed here are doctors with some kind of high-level qualification who could be considered smart, and we could see here they ended up picking Harley Sawyer, who obviously ended up creating the Bigger Bodies Initiative. So in my opinion, I think this list was gathered to document everyone's qualifications who worked at the factory, and was their way of trying to find someone to lead the charge and help with making the experiments, which Harley happened to fit the mold of best, judging from the sheet. Moving on to the third teaser, we have an extremely blurry notebook sheet that says, Sawyer, obviously referencing Harley Sawyer, is quick to remind us that this whole blank is one bad day away from a catastrophe blank, or possibly dead. We take the work seriously, and I don't think blank, safety of our co-workers or the integrity of blank. Still, it's become somewhat of an inside joke blank, or we'll spill a cup of coffee in the break room blank. One bad day, am I right? The other would blank. Macabre, possibly. I'd argue it beats the blank. I just hope Sawyer doesn't find out about blank like that. The man would be livid. Signed off from a busted up name we can't read. So a lot of pieces of the letter are missing, but from what I can interpret, this appears to be some kind of a personal letter of somebody talking about how strict Harley Sawyer was, saying that any mistake they made could destroy the company, likely referring to accidentally leaking the secrets of the experiments, since that was his department after all, and how they joke about how spilling a cup of coffee or something small would destroy the entire company. But
That's it. Go subscribe to this guy.